What if I told you that the most aggressive, messy, bring a spare shirt food culture in America was born in a city literally built on a swamp? We aren't talking about the polished coastal dining scenes or the curated menus of the trendy elite. We're heading to the 312, a place where the wind can knock you over, the winters are legendary, and the food culture was forged with a bigger is better philosophy. This is Origin Plate, and today we are mapping the Dina of Chicago. We are diving into 10 iconic dishes that were invented right here, from a pizza that functions as a structural engineering project to a sandwich so soaked in gravy it defies the laws of physics. Chicago food doesn't ask for your approval, it demands your attention. Let's get to work. The countdown. 1. The pizza casserole. In 1943, Pizzeria Uno changed the world by asking a simple question. What if pizza was a pie? Unlike the folded slices of New York, Chicago deep dish is built in reverse. The buttery, cornmeal-dusted crust is pressed into a high-walled pan, creating a sturdy steel bowl. Then comes the layer of mozzarella, slabs, not shreds, followed by your toppings, and finished with a thick, chunky tomato sauce spread over the very top to protect the cheese from burning during the long, slow bake. It isn't a snack, it's a survival tactic against the biting cold of a Chicago winter. 2. The Depression hot dog. A Chicago-style hot dog is a cultural artifact with a strict code of conduct. Born during the Great Depression, street vendors dragged it through the garden to turn a cheap 5-cent sausage into a complete meal. The build? An all-beef frank on a steamed poppy seed bun, topped with yellow mustard, neon green relish, chopped onions, tomato wedges, a pickle spear, sport peppers, and a dash of celery salt. And the golden rule, never ever use ketchup. In Chicago, ketchup is culinary treason. When you have this much crunch and tang, you don't need the sugar. 3. Italian beef the dip test. This is the undisputed king of the working-class lunch. Born in the early 20th century as a stretch meal for immigrant wedding banquets, families needed a way to make a few tough roasts feed 100 guests. By simmering the beef in a heavily seasoned broth of garlic, oregano, and secret spices, then slicing it paper-thin against the grain, they turned a budget cut into a mountain of tender meat. But the ritual is the dip. You commit to physics here. The entire sandwich is plunged into the vat of hot juice. You then adopt the Chicago stance, leaning forward at a 45-degree angle to ensure the juice doesn't ruin your shoes. Topped with fiery, oil-based giardiniera, it's a lightning bolt of flavor. 4. The Palmer House Brownie. Most think the brownie was a happy kitchen accident. In Chicago, it was a high-stakes corporate commission. In 1893, Bertha Palmer, the socialite wife of the Palmer House hotel owner, was tasked with organizing the world's Columbian Exposition. She needed a portable, ladylike dessert, something smaller than a cake but richer than a cookie. The hotel's pastry chef invented a dense, fudgy square that ignored the airy trends of the day. To make it decadent, he packed it with walnuts and finished it with a signature apricot glaze. It was the birth of the handheld chocolate cake, and 130 years later, it's still a sticky, delicious time capsule. 5. The Chicago popcorn mix. Sweet and savory are usually kept in separate lanes. In Chicago, they've been in a messy, passionate marriage since 1949. That was the year Garrett popcorn shops popularized the Chicago mix. It's a relentless 50-50 blend of two heavy hitters, buttery, copper-colored caramel crisp, and sharp, salty cheddar cheese corn. When mixed in a tin, the salt from the cheese acts as a flavor enhancer for the sugar in the caramel. The smell of this mix wafting through the downtown L stations is a Chicago landmark in itself, drawing in locals for a bag that never makes it home. 6. The Jibarito, a masterpiece of Humboldt Park. While Chicago is famous for its European roots, its Puerto Rican soul gave us one of the most innovative sandwiches in history, the Jibarito. Created in the 90s, this sandwich is a total rejection of bread. The bun consists of two long, green plantains, smashed flat and deep-fried until cracker crisp. Stuffed with tender grilled steak, melted cheese, lettuce, and an aggressive layer of garlic mayonnaise that soaks into the nooks of the plantain, it's a textural marvel. It's garlicky, starchy, and proof that Chicagoans will always embrace a rule-breaking sandwich. 7. Chicken Vesuvio. If you want to know what the South Side tastes like, look at Chicken Vesuvio. Named after the famous volcano, it's a high-heat explosion of flavor that has remained a local obsession since the 1930s. This isn't light dining, it's a rustic mess of bone and chicken halves and thick potato wedges roasted together until the skin is crispy and the potatoes have absorbed every drop of the sauce. The magic lies in the Vesuvio sauce, a heavy-handed mix of white wine, olive oil, and enough minced garlic to ward off a vampire for a month. Finished with sweet green peas, it's a Chicago-only secret that refuses to leave the neighborhood. 8. Tavern-style pizza. Here is the truth every local knows. Deep dish is for the tourists. Tavern style is for the people who actually live here. This thin, cracker crisp pie predates the deep dish boom. The hallmark is the party cut, slicing the round pizza into small, bite-sized squares instead of triangles. This started in the 1940s in neighborhood bars. Bar owners wanted a snack that could sit on a napkin or a small bar top without taking up space. It's the ultimate social food, salty, crispy, and designed to be shared with a beer in one hand and a square in the other. 9. The Maxwell Street Polish. To understand the grit of the Chicago worker, you go to Maxwell Street. In the early 20th century, this was one of the world's most vibrant open-air markets, where Polish, Jewish, and Black communities traded and thrived. Out of this hustle came the Maxwell Street Polish. It's a thick, smoky kielbasa, grilled until the casing is charred, served on a simple bun with a mountain of onions caramelized on a flat-top grill until they are jammy and sweet. Add spicy yellow mustard and a whole sport pepper, and you have the most honest meal in the city. No frills, no garnishes, just pure, smoky tribute to the immigrants who built the foundations of this town. 10. The Rainbow Cone. We finish with a 1926 Southside legend. Instead of scoops, the original rainbow cone uses a flat wooden spade to stack 5 distinct slices of ice cream, chocolate, strawberry, Palmer House, pistachio, and orange sherbet. You don't lick it, you bite through the layers to get the full spectrum of flavor in one go. The outro, a map of the people. Chicago didn't invent these foods to be trendy or to win awards. They were invented to feed a city of workers, dreamers, and immigrants who needed their meals to work as hard as they did. From the Depression dog to the fried plantain, Chicago's menu is a map of its people. Which of these origin plate legends is your first stop in the Windy City? Let us know in the comments below. Stay hungry, stay curious, and we'll see you at the next map.